here we go. We've got the 2020 Himalayan with us right now. This is a almost 10,000 kilometers, 6 months old bike, and this bike actually belongs to one of our fellow subscribers, and we are actually fortunate enough that he could lend us his bike. I'm actually surprised this bike is smooth. It does not have that vibrations typical the classic 350 have. It is fairly smooth. Right now I'm like 60 kilometers per hour in 5th gear, and zero vibrations at all. So the console is pretty basic. You've got your gear position indicator here, your trip meter here, you got kilometers and miles reading. That's actually very different. You got your tachometer there, you got a fuel gauge here, and this is a compass. The city, the bike returns somewhere close to 30, and on the highway he's getting close to 40 kilometers per hour, and 40 kilometers per liter, and that is commendable. 40 kilometers for a good tourer. Looking at the increased fuel rates, getting higher range or higher fuel consumption, better fuel consumption is always helpful. The layout of the switch gear is actually fairly easy. You got on the right side, you got your engine kill switch, you got your hazard blinkers. This is actually helpful when you want to stop at the side of the road very immediately because there's some problem which you guys faced. And this is the start button. On the left side, the yellow switch is a pass. The yellow switch is a pass. This is high beam, low beam. This is for the choke, and these are the indicators. And horn, he has changed the horn. And if you guys remember the Honda CB 500X review which I did, I've taken this route, and this road has quite a few good twisties. So let's see how it goes. Beyond 80, the bike is not that smooth revving. If I say it starts to vibrate a little more, and the way it is building from 80 to 100, it is actually struggling a bit, but till 80 the bike is fairly smooth. And bending the bike in such corners is not a problem. It is not as responsive as let us say the Adventure 390, but it is fairly decent. Okay. Whenever I release the handlebar, the bike is tending to tilt towards the right. I don't know why, but the bike is slightly pulling towards the right. That's what I feel. This is a used bike, guys, so that might be the case. Let us check on the brakes. 60 kilometers per hour, and okay. I'm not a great fan of the back brake, but the front is progressive. You're getting the feedback as well. So here we go, guys. The BS6 Royal Enfield Himalayan is here with us. The small test ride which I just did, and I felt the bike is extremely smooth, and the bike can go fairly easily until 80 kilometers, 90 kilometers per hour, and beyond that the bike starts to struggle a bit, and also the vibrations actually start kicking in at 95 kilometers per hour. So this bike has a 21-inch front and a 17-inch rear, and that's a wonderful peak off which I just heard. So it can do bit of all-terrain off-road use. see, the larger the tire gets, I mean, the size of the tire, it varies from what, 16 inches to 21 inches. As it goes higher, like from 16 to 21, it is always meant that the tire is a smaller, thin profile, and it can do a much better job when you're going off-road. So the guy who lent me the bike, he has changed the knuckle guards, the engine guards, and also changed the seat cover. The seat is actually fairly soft, so long rides can be done very easily. That's a very good thing, and you don't need, honestly, you don't need ride on air on this bike because the seat is good. And if you're anywhere close to 5'6" and a half, 5'7", you can happily plant both your feet down. I am 5'9" and a half, and as I just demonstrated, it is very easy, fairly easy. And also the bike weighs considerably less. I don't know the exact figures, I'll try to keep them here, but the bike weighs fairly less, and also you can plant your feet down, so that boosts your confidence quite a lot. And going Ladakh, Spiti or Sikkim in that aspect on this bike is fairly easy. So the only problem I see is you get wire spoked tube rims. So whenever there's a puncture, you actually have to remove the entire tire, the rim from the bike, get the puncture fixed, get the tube fixed, then put it back on. That is the only problem, only niggle which I see. And I have no idea if Royal Enfield is actually offering a tubeless rims for this bike, or an alloy wheels, or cross spoke wire rims. And putting the main stand on this bike is fairly easy. That was my first try, and I could do it very easily. So all in all, it's an easy bike, and except for the rims, everything else is pretty good. If at all you guys have a budget, you can probably go for Adventure, KTM Adventure 250 or the 390. Those bikes are actually for more of road use than off-road use. This bike is actually more of an off-road use compared to the road use. Coming to the bad bits, there are actually not many, but one is the stock headlight is not that great. I can actually notice that in broad daylight that it will not be great because it's a very old generation halogen light, and also the wire spoke rims, and the rear brake is little smushy. It is not that aggressive. It is not, the feedback is not that great, but the front, the feedback and the braking quality of the front is good, but the rear brake quality is nah. Saying this, let's hear the exhaust note. This is the first time I've ever ridden Himalayan, and I never thought, is it fogging? Yeah, the cluster is slightly going here. And honestly, I never thought Royal Enfield can pull off such a good bike. They're actually pulling off very good bikes. Even the Interceptor 650, I have ridden Naresh Panda's bike quite a few months ago, but I could say that Royal Enfield, they're heading to is a very good market, and they're actually producing very good bikes. And this is ABS button, so which means that it has toggable ABS. Chalo, it's time to head on, give this bike to its owner. So I never stood up. Fairly good. So I just noticed beyond 4000 RPM on the tacho, you will start getting vibrations on the bike. Can we go on here? Yes. Chalo. I need some bad patches of road. The suspension is soft. The suspension is actually soft. See, I'm going beyond. Look at my finger here. I'm almost 4000 RPM, and my hand is vibrating. Below that, it's good. Shift gear, be in the comfort zone. Always remember that. If at all you want to eliminate vibrations, don't rev the bike too much. Try to be on a gear up and eliminate those vibrations. Actually good for yourself and the bike's life as well, because vibrations, resonance will kill the engine and the clusters. Okay, by saying that, so this small digital display here shows the gear position indicator, the clock, the odometer, the air temp, this bike service is due, and also trip A and trip B. It is not the most nimblest of bikes you have ridden, but see, in the guards, this bike will definitely take an impact when compared to the KTM's, the KTM 250 Adventure or the 390 Adventure. But when it comes to a bit of off-road, this will win over them. But only the factor is you actually have to maintain the track. Otherwise, if you have a puncture, it will be a big junjet. He has chains on, he has double ons. And if at all you guys want to use this bike as a city commuter, it can be done. It can eat up speed breakers, bad patches of roads. And the exhaust note is pretty decent. You're getting that. Oh, there's a street ripple. Anna, namaste, Anna. Look at that. I've got my Orazo boots on and I can happily plant my feet, both my feet down. If at all you're going on more of off-roady situations, this is a better buy when compared to the KTM Adventure 250. But if at all you're going predominantly on roads or highways or any guard sections or street roads, I will not suggest you guys to take this bike, because first thing, agar puncture ho gaya to janjet, and with the same amount of price for the KTMs you get a much more aggressive bike where the bike leans and listens to you. It has no vibrations till 80 to 90 kilometers per hour, but beyond that you will struggle and you'll start feeling vibrations in your hand, which is not a good thing. Vibrations will actually stress you out. And also the exhaust actually is better than the KTM's. I'm not a very big fan of the KTM exhaust from the first generation KTM RCs and the Dukes, but this Iska exhaust, I don't know whether the BS6 norms has impacted, but right now in this avatar it is fairly decent. And also I have seen a livery of a silver and Himalayan mountains on the bike. That color will stand out. And also there's a army green, sort of greenish color bike, and even that bike looks very good. And you can actually easily mount panniers to this. You get a pannier frame here and on that side and the top box. So, and if at all you hit panniers and have a luggage, the power will definitely play a part, and that's when you will feel that the bike is actually little underpowered. So I've given the bike to the owner, and he also said few problems with the bike. First thing is actually the bike is stalling quite a bit. That is actually because of the fuel injection problem, and I did face that issue, and he said that this problem occurs to many Himalayan owners, and Royal Enfield is actually on the way to fix that problem. So let's hope in the coming few months the problem will be resolved. And also he said that the technicians and the service stations or service heads are not that technical, and until unless you know what the problem is and you specify the exact problem, the problem will reoccur every time. And I guess this is the problem with every manufacturer here in Hyderabad, especially in Hyderabad. KTMs have the same issue, Royal Enfields have the same issue, Suzuki's have the same issue. Until unless the technician is actually taught from the headquarters where the factory or the main hub plant is, everyone are actually facing the same issues. So hope you guys liked my take on the Himalayan. I try to cover the good and the bad of the bike. If at all you like it, please like, share and comment down below. And any other bike you guys are looking at, again, please send the request or comment down below saying that which bike you want. We'll try to fetch that bike and do a review for you guys.